Alright, Chapter 7, page 206 of your book is creating a works cited page and using word views. We've still got the cohabitation essay open. So I mentioned in the last video when we went over citations that when you use that citation tool, it really makes your works cited page a lot easier to populate. And that's what we're going to do now. Just so you know, MLA papers do require a works cited page and a reference page for APA papers. Word does have those guidelines built into it, which we're about to see. And then also on the views that we're going to go over, there's just a couple different views that you can look at the document. It makes it easier for reading and things like that. Also, you can make it look like it would like on a web page, which we're going to see that view as well. To begin with, we're going to go ahead and add in that works cited page. So to do that, we're on page 206 of the book. We're going to scroll to the end of the document, and we're going to put our insertion point at the very end and get down to the new blank line, and we're going to go to insert, and we're going to insert a page break because MLA requires the works cited page to be on its own page. So now we've got its new page, and we're going to go up to the references tab, and then we're going to go to bibliography, and we're going to click on works cited. And when we do that, what it's going to do is go up and get all those sources that we've added or that were already with the document from the previous video and create a works cited alphabetized the way it's supposed to be for MLA style. So there's our works cited, and there's some of the ones we added. Next, we need the formatting of this to be consistent with the paper as well as MLA style. So we're going to highlight all that text, and you'll notice that we get a couple buttons here, and one of those is to update the citations and bibliography. So if you're typing this document and you go ahead and add the works cited at the end, then you go back and you change some stuff, add some sources, or don't use one altogether, you'll have to go back and click this update citations before this works cited page will update based off what all sources you have in the document. And then also you can change the style of the works cited bibliography there. So now we got this text updated. What we want to do is we want to change the font to Times New Roman and 12 point. So we've got that all highlighted. We're going to go back to the Home tab. We're going to select on the font. We're going to do Times New Roman. We're going to do size of 12. And now it wants us to change the works cited font to black and center it. So we're going to highlight it. We're going to click on center. And on the font color, we're going to click on black. So just like that. Sorry, I jumped ahead on you there. Step 8 was to center the title and make it black, but it also does want us to remove spacing add line spacing of 2.0 and remove space from the paragraphs. So we're going to highlight all that again, and we're going to go to the line spacing, and we're going to make it 2. And we're going to do remove space in those paragraphs. So there's that. And that's all there is to inserting a works cited page, and the formatting of it is just like any other paragraph, but just remember, if you do make changes, you have to update that using the button there, and you can get to that just by clicking on being in the works cited page. Alright, so now we're going to look at the different views that we can have for the document. I've moved back to the first of the document, so our insertion point's at the very beginning. And we're going to look at read mode first, which displays document full screen and columns. It just helps you read longer documents easier without things like the quick access toolbar or the ribbon up here. Draft view hides print elements like headers and footers. Web layout view shows documents as it would be if you had it on a web page. And then outline view displays content as bulleted points. We're not going to look at all those, but I will show you how to get to them. So to begin with, we're going to click on View, and we're going to click on Read Mode. And you'll see that the page is now displayed in columns with an arrow to move to the next sections. And this just makes it easier to view long documents on your screen. If your screen didn't pull up in columns, if you click on View, Layout, and then Column Layout, it'll look like this. And here in a second, we're going to look at paper layout. So you can see that this is a lot easier to read. It doesn't have all the margins and things like that. It just helps it all fit on a screen so you can read a little bit easier than scrolling down. And then to get to the next pages, you just click on this little arrow over here, and you can go back and forth here. Next, we're going to look at the paper layout, which displays the document as single pages instead of these columns, but still keeps the minimal ribbon and things like that. So we're going to click on View, Layout, and then Paper Layout. And you'll see now we've got where we can scroll like we're used to, but still much more screen space is dedicated to the document without the other stuff. So to get back to print layout view that we're used to, we're going to go to View and then Edit Document, and that's going to take us right back to that print layout view that we normally start with. Next we're going to look at the draft view, and we're going to click on, we're still in the Views tab, we're going to click on Draft, and you'll see that the draft view hides things like the headers and footers like we mentioned earlier. It's a really different view to look at. And to get back to the print layout view, we can click on there's also these print layout buttons down here. We can actually go back to outline or some other things like that to draft view. However, but to get back to the print layout, we can click on this button right down here in the center, and it'll take us back to that same print layout that we're used to. Just a couple different ways to get to the same place. You can be in draft and click on print layout up here, or if you're in draft, you can click on it down here. There's always a few ways to do different things, so just be aware that there are buttons down here as well in the status bar. So that's it for creating a works cited page and using word views.